What's up everyone, it's DV and I'm in the latest update of Roblox Islands and it's all about fireflies. That's right, these guys. And this is a green firefly that was donated by Monstrous Dragon. Thanks again to Monstrous Dragon and big shout out to him for helping me out so that I could feature it in this video. And they actually did add cars. They added cars. No, I'm kidding. They didn't add any vehicles. Now before I begin, be sure to hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you are new. But yeah, we have fireflies and you check this out. And I've actually got a net and it is nighttime now. So fireflies will spawn at night for you. And it seems like they really like to spawn where the bees are typically. And on top of that, you can just see I just swiped and got a bee jar as well. See these little sleeping bees? You can actually catch bees too. So see, I just got 2 of them. And what happens is they end up going into a jar. So you get bees in a jar. That's what they look like. They're like, dude, you gotta let me out. I don't know how they shrink from being huge to that tiny in a jar, but I like it. So later on, you can actually release these. The only thing that I know of is that you can release these back into the wild. I think the displays are only for fireflies, but I'm gonna show you the displays in a little minute. But yeah, you just use your net to catch these guys. So you gotta just make sure the top of this net actually does swipe over them. It's kind of a challenge. So when you're doing this, just make sure the top of your net when you're swinging does actually collide with them, because if it doesn't, then you won't catch them. So see, like this, you got to be at like the right distance, and see, I just caught one right there. And with this update comes a lot of new stuff. I'm going to show you a little bit about that. Now, a couple things on the fireflies before we get into like all the different items and stuff. There is such thing as yellow fireflies. So I'm going to show you all the different colors. So there's such thing as yellow fireflies, which is pretty much the most common firefly you can get, is this yellow one here, which you can see that's a yellow right there. And then they have other colors. There's like the blue one. The blue one's really rare. I don't think the blue one's found that often. I don't see that many people with the blue ones, but that actually looks really cool. Can you imagine putting like a bunch of like, you know, blue lights around your portal or something? It's going to be really neat with the blue. So there's the blue, there's the red, which is really cool for me. And then you've got also the green here, which I started with. So that is the green firefly. So you have 4 different colors. And here's what's cool about these. So you can do a couple things. First off, I want to show you how to make a net. So you got to make a net to catch them, and they only spawn at night. And how you make a net. So I'm going to go over here to my workbench, and you can scroll down here and you can see I've got a net right there. So it just requires 15 wood. It's pretty cheap to make, just like the fishing pole. The fishing pole is a little bit cheaper. It's only 10. This one requires 15 wood. So it is super cheap. Don't get caught into like spending 200,000 on one of these. People are going to try to rip you off with nets because you don't know how to make one yet, but it's only going to cost you a little bit of wood, and you can go farm that pretty easily. And then there's also a couple other things in here I want to show you. You've got the display case, which is new. So there's a new display case. This is a large one that you can use to display and store your fireflies. And I'm going to show you a clip from Monstrous Dragon's Island here, that he actually has like 3 colors. He's got the yellow one, and he's got the green one and the red one inside aquariums. I'll call them aquariums, but they're display cases. And then you got a small one. The small one costs 5 glass blocks and 15 wood. The big one is a little bit more expensive at twice as much. So it's double the amount. So you need 10 glass blocks, which are cheap, and you need 30 wood to make that. You also have something called a firefly lantern. You do not require the lighting station to be able to do this, which is nice because basically what they did was they gave you an upgraded version of a torch. So this is just an upgraded torch. It requires 25 stone and a yellow firefly jar. And then with the actual lighting station, if we go over here to the lighting station, you can see they added 2 new lights. So they have the firefly wall lamp, which I love. This is my favorite light out of all of them, and I'll show you why in a minute. But that requires 1 yellow firefly jar and 10 iron. Pretty cheap. It's actually pretty reasonable. And then here you've got the firefly garden light, which is also really cool, and that requires 25 wood and then 1 jar. So I'm going to make a bunch of these real quick because we wanted to use these. So I'll make about 30 of those, and I'm going to show you how those work in a minute. If you wanted to, in a situation like this, what you could do is you could put them on the side because they are wall lights. So you can kind of put them in places that are a little bit more discreet and not so big, because if you look at this compared to like maybe a sea lantern, so this is a sea lantern right there, right? So if you wanted to, you could do something similar like that, and you can actually make a ladder out of them. Look at this. So you can actually legit make a ladder out of these, and it looks way better than a ladder. So you can put them on the wall, and you can also put them on both sides. So now you got this crazy looking wall full of light. And here's the other thing that's cool about these. And actually, I'm going to go and place down this other light real quick for you so you can see the garden light. So this is the garden light here. You can see it's yellow right now. That is not the default color. The default color of the garden lights are actually like a white. It's like really, really bright. And you can color them, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and take this out, and you're going to see what I'm talking about as soon as I take it out. So when you do that, you notice that I actually did get my yellow firefly jar back. So when you make these, there's technically no firefly, even though you made it with a firefly. Technically, there's no more firefly in there. But you see, these are all bright white. They're white lights, right? So you can actually color these to be red. You see, I used 2 of my reds, and then I just use a green, and I'm going to use a blue. So you can actually color the lights, which is really, really cool. I love it. And then when you break it apart, you'll notice I get my blue firefly back. So if I were to put the wall light back, it's back to just, you know, plain white. That's actually a really cool feature. I'm going to go ahead and take these off because they're kind of bright right now. But I love the fact that they do have some collision, so you can actually climb this as a ladder as well. So it doubles as a light and a ladder. Now I want to show you the little garden light. So let's see, there it is. This is the garden light. It looks really, really great. It looks really good in lawns too. See, that's the default color. So I'm going to go over here to the lawn, to my rose garden. They're not really a rose garden. It's a flower garden, okay? All right, so you can see there. It looks really, really nice, especially at night. This lights up pretty well. And then you can color these. So if you want blue lights, if you want red lights, green. You also have the yellow, just the plain yellow firefly as well. So if you want more of that torch look, you can do that. So what's cool is like if you want to light up your vending, you can just do something like that too. So it'll light up your vending without having to have torches. So the colored fireflies are actually rare. So like I said, by default, you're going to get the yellow ones. But every now and then a red or a blue or a green might spawn. There's a chance for them to spawn during that time. And then there's a 2% chance for something called a rainbow event. A rainbow firefly event, it does not mean there's going to be a rainbow firefly. There's no rainbow fireflies in the game currently. I confirmed that with dev. There's no such thing as, so if you're seeing people that are trying to scam you for 100 million to get, you know, you to buy their rainbow firefly, they're lying to you. They're totally trolling with you or trying to scam you, one or the other. What rainbow event means is you have a 2% chance for all fireflies at that night to have colors. So that is called a rainbow firefly event. So that means instead of it being all yellows and then maybe one green or one red every now and then, all of them would be colored. So that's actually really cool. That's the rainbow event. And then I'm going to show you a couple more things here in this update. But before I move on from this, let me show you the bee jar. Since it's now daytime, you can actually pull out the bee again and you can hold down and it's going to release a bee. So you can release it to the wild again. So this is a great way to, like, you can stock these away. So if you want to get more bees out, you can do so. Just let them go. That's currently the only thing that I know of that you can do with it. There's also another thing, you know, with this is that while you're swimming with the net, I'm going to show you this real quick before I move on to the other objects, but see this right here. So while you have this attached, you tend to move faster. So if you think about it, it seems like you move a lot faster, but I haven't really, I can't tell if it's just an optical illusion or what, because it feels the same. It feels the same. It just looks faster because he's moving his legs really fast. So I can't really tell. But yeah, it just looks faster. So I'm not positive that you're actually faster because I'm swimming at the same speed. It looks the same to me. Some people were saying you can actually move faster. I think it's just an optical illusion. There's no new updates outside of this area to my knowledge. There's no, someone was trolling me that there was, you know, like a place that you can sell bees at and fireflies at. That's not true. They did actually make a little bit of progress on this barn here. So you can see they've made a little bit of building progress, just teasing us a little bit more that something's coming. And I'm going to come back over here. They did also add some new stuff to the game as part of this update, which I'll get into in a minute once I'm done with the bee stuff. So the display tanks, I actually have a couple displays here. I can show you what they look like. I've got, let's see, this one and this one. So here's the large display, and then here's the small display. And you can put stuff in there. So you can put, like, you know, if you want to put your reds in there, if you want to put your greens in this one, you can do that. And they actually do emit light. So at night, this will actually light up all green. So you can see a little bit of with the blocks there. They're turning a little bit of green, and this one's turning a little red. So the more you put in there, the brighter it's going to be. So if I remove these and put in regulars, you're going to see that it gets really yellow. See how bright yellow that is? So imagine putting a bunch of reds or blues in there. It actually looks kind of cool. And it just gives you like something else to like decorate in your island or your house with some kind of animation and movement, some particle effects. It looks really cool. And then you could break that down and it'll give you your fireflies back. So here's the lantern. They actually look really, really cool. Very bright, and you can color them as well. So if you're going for a little bit of that spooky looking Halloween look, I think that looks very medieval. And here's some of the other colors. Here's the yellow, yellow, green, red. Did I have blue? There's a blue. That's what blue looks. Blue looks really cool. I think blue looks, if I didn't have a red island, I would say blue looks the best. Because imagine like coming over here, and if you could put a bunch of these over here, like if I had more blue, I'd definitely do a bunch of that all over the place around here. This would be all blue right here. It's gonna look cool. I can't wait to see some of your builds. But my wall lights, the wall lights are the best. So these, I think these are going to be the best for like just straight up decoration for areas, especially if you can put like red or yellow. So I'll put some yellows right here for now. I really like these new lights. As far as price for these and trading value, I haven't really calculated what's going on with that. I will look into it and let you know what I see or what I find there. I think people are going to be trying to scam people, like I said, for rainbows, but they don't actually exist. The rainbow do not exist. So I think bees are going to go for a good amount because people want bees, and I think this is a great way for you to get bees. Now, as far as other changes they made to the game, I'll get into that now. Here's what's new. Here's what they did. They've added this progress bar to things like smelters. You can see how long it's going to take for you to complete something, which is, I think, is actually a really, really cool user experience addition. So you can see here right above my smelter, it shows progress bar. You can see these little gears. They've added like this little animation, so it looks like it's working. Looks kind of neat. They rewrote a bunch of like stuff for interacting with things. So I guess like how things work, and that's why some bugs occurred where maybe people were holding down the F key to harvest and it wasn't working. They also changed the way factories handle physics to improve server performance. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. It sounds good. And then you've got, they added some effects for blueprints. They added some new visual stuff, and they redesigned the chest model so you can see what the new chest looks like. It looks kind of cool. Let me show you what the small chest looks like. So this is what the small chest looks like now. And I guess they added some new animations with that. They added a quick collect for shortcuts for things like furnace and stuff. So if you have a furnace, for example, apparently there's a way you can quick collect now. I haven't seen that yet. So supposedly there's a way to, oh, okay, I see. So I think you could just click that. I'm not sure. I don't think it's, oh, there we go. So you just click on the furnace itself and it just collected everything. That's cool. So those are the updates to the game. I wish you luck with getting all those rare colors because I think those look really cool. I really hope you get some, maybe get some blue fireflies and make some money. I think the blue fireflies I'm hearing, you know, are going for around 4 or 5 million plus. Like I said, there is a 2% chance for a rainbow event. So you might get a chance, you know, if you're just hanging out in the game a lot. That basically means, you know, 1 in every 50 nights, you might actually see a rainbow event and be able to catch a bunch of colored fireflies. So, you know, it gives us something to do at night. And again, it gives us another thing we can do on our island, which is cool. I love that they're giving us more things we can do on our island, which is huge. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.